So I bought my garden manager and one of my full-time maintenance guys some shoes, and myself some shoes. And they just got here. Got the Hoka Ani. I don't know which one. Let's see. Oh, these. These are the clownfish colors. I've been buying these boots every year at the beginning of the season. The only thing is I've always switched the colors, and I've never had this color. I think this is the newest color they have, because I've never seen it, the black, blue, and orange. Anyway, these shoes are awesome. They're not cheap. I think they're $230. Just the price, yeah. So it was $684 for these three. So we got me and the maintenance, the guy, that full-time mower guy, a pair, and the garden manager. She's always out there in the garden. So we got her these. She picked these. So all these shoes are waterproof. So they're all waterproof. I like these because they're really light, so you can wear them all day. They're waterproof. They don't it's not like you're wearing heavy boots. They're actually hiking boots. You can wear those. I wear them while I'm spraying, while I'm out there mowing lawns, working in gardens, whatever. Even when you're on a roof hanging Christmas lights. These bottoms they really grip really good to the roofs. So I don't know, I'm super happy with these shoes. I love these. Mega grip. Maybe I've never noticed this thing. Vibram. Anyway, I love these shoes. I'll see if I can post the workers getting them and get their reaction. So yeah, I recommend getting these for what we do: mowing, fertilizing, working out in gardens. These are just badass. Do you like them?
Shoes.
Do you like them?
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No problem. You're welcome. So hopefully you wear them out and I get my money's worth.
That shouldn't be a problem.
So the Mo guys just called me to tell me that new grandstand, that new 36-inch Toro grandstand is not starting. So I'm on my way with a trailer to pick it up and take it to the shop to see what we can do. I'm telling you, if it isn't one thing, it's something else. I hate sounding like I'm whining, and I'm not. This happens all the time. It's just that it's a brand new mower, so I'm kind of interested to see what's wrong with it. Luckily, it was just a positive. Needed to be tightened. One of these. Easy fix. Good news. Now they're telling me the blower is isn't kicking any power. Okay, so usually what that is, see how it's really weak? Usually all you have to do is take this and bolt off. Hard to see. I may have a spare, highly doubtful, but I guess anything's possible. But for now, I'm going to just try taking it off so I can show you that usually that's a quick fix until you can get it replaced. So I'm gonna take it off. Careful, it's hot. It's not too bad. I just tried turning it on for a second. So do you remember how weak that was? So it's this thing. It's just, I think it's like called a flint filter, something like that. Apparently if you take this off, it's illegal to run this blower like in a forest or something because it could cause a spark. And this makes it so it doesn't spark out. So anyway, let's try turning it on without this. So this is just for a quick fix. What you can also do is get a pen and just shove it in there and break this net part that catches all the resin. It should work. See that? So I'm gonna see if I have a spare so it's not that loud. But when you're desperate, you just get it working however you can, even if it's loud. What you can do is grab this, one of these. I tried finding one. I usually have a spare, but I couldn't find one. So I'm just taking one of these and I'm just cleaning it out until you could see through them. If you could see through it, it's probably good enough. What most people do is just throw these away. But you shouldn't do that because as you can see, your machine's gonna get noisy or bogged down one time. It's good to have spares. And I'll tighten this in a little bit. First, I just wanna make sure it's gonna work. So I'm tightening it down with my hand. Good as 2-year-old new. Hey guys, my blue truck is still not ready. It's been painted, as you saw that one picture, but the graphics aren't on there yet because they said they needed about 10 to 14 days, so it wouldn't hurt the paint. So can you believe it? It's not even been that long, so I was just excited to have it all ready. I thought I'd get it all done in like a week, but apparently you can't get it done that fast. So for those that are wanting to get their trucks painted and graphics put on there, keep in mind the time that it takes. So like right now, we're short a truck and we're scrambling trying to figure out who's using what truck and that kind of thing. So that's something I definitely should have done in the winter time, but it wasn't something that I was ready to do then. I didn't really think it was going to be that important, but you know, we're growing, we're getting our name out there. I think it's important to have the trucks all uniformed and the colors be really bright so they stand out. So again, I'm not able to show the truck right now, but I'm sure it'll be ready for next week. So in the meantime, I've got this, I was interviewed this week by my friend Blain who has a podcast called the Hortoccult. So I thought I'd put that up here, as I did record it. Anyway, if you guys can, check that podcast out, subscribe to it. He's got some good stuff. And so anyway, see you next week. I should do Airplane mode.
Here we go.
Watch, it'll ring like 3 times. I guarantee it will. Should I do it now?
Probably. All right, so we're here with Freddie Zahn from Lawn Thumbs.
Yes.
Lawn Maintenance. What's up, dude?
Good.
Good to see
How you
you.
doing?
We're good.
Good.
We're good.
Yeah.
And,
Finally doing this.
Yeah, it's been a while. I just want to. You're our main sponsor
That's
of
right.
the podcast.
Yes,
so
I
thank
am.
you.
Main or the biggest, the best?
Main, biggest, best. All
Okay.
of it. Yeah.
Okay. So if anybody comes, you have to give me warning, and I have to be bigger, better.
No problem.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know who you are. I think you have a great backstory. I'm familiar with it, but we'll just...
Yeah. Well, I don't know really how much you know. Like, did we sit
well,
down and just...
maybe I'll find out more.
Did we, like... I don't remember telling you, but because it could go deep. It could be quick, like, oh, yeah, I just kind of knew somebody. They kind of helped me, or...
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do with my life. And
Well, let's start with just where you're from.
Okay, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I was always surrounded by the ocean my whole life, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of funny. I always joke around with family, like back home, and I'm like, yeah, I'm up in the mountains. Over here in the mountains, this is how we do it. Up here in the mountains. So when I was 22, I decided to move out of Daytona. I loved Daytona up until I realized I needed to do something better with my life. You know, I was just kind of somebody with no direction growing up. But when I was 20, I had my first, like, eye-opening, like, hey, what am I going to do with my life, You know, I can't party and get paid. I can't get paid to party my whole life. So I moved to San Diego. I always thought that, if I moved, it would be to California. Actually, me and my dad took me to a business trip. So we went to an auction. So we were at an auction together, and there was this one auction that was in the Bay Area. No, I want to say the Bay Area. No, it was in San Francisco. Is that the Bay Area?
Yeah, that's the Bay Area.
Okay, yeah. So it was in San Francisco, and I just fell in love with it. And I was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 at the time. And I always said to myself, I'm going to move back here when I get older, Anyway, fast forward till I'm about 21, 22, and I'm like finally, pulling the trigger. And then I decided, well, if I'm going to move to California, I think I want to move somewhere where the weather's like always nice. So I'm used to the ocean and things like that. So San Diego was what I did. Anyway, kind of got to know myself a little bit better. So it's funny because when I went back to visit Daytona, it was like a couple years later, and I felt like I had grown, from like when I left. So I went and visited my friends. It was kind of funny. I love all my friends. They're, all these guys, girls take a bullet for me, but when I went back, it was like I realized why I left, like right away. So I left again. And anyway, fast forward again, I'm now in my mid-20s. I'm in the restaurant business. So I worked in the restaurant since I was like 15, but never really took it serious until I moved to San Diego. I started, taking shifts, being the shift leader, being the floor manager, eventually I became the GM. Actually, no, that was not until I moved here to Utah.
So is that what brought you to Utah? Was the restaurant?
No. It was actually what brought me here was just financial problems, with my vehicles. Actually, it wasn't really like hard times in my life. It was just I spent everything I had on a truck that broke down, and a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I'm moving us to Utah, to Provo. You want to come?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
You're like, "Where's Provo?"
Yeah, no, I kind of knew because I was a member of the church, the LDS church, and so every Sunday, people would stand up and tell us where they're from, and everybody was from Utah, So I was like, "Oh, let's go to Utah." So we came here, and then I met my wife,
And anyway, fast forward a little bit. I'm now, married, and I feel like, okay, I really need to do something with my life. Like I really, my first eye opener was, hey, you can't like mess up your life. Like, you got to do something with your life. My second eye opener was after I got married was, okay, I really need to do something now. Like I've gotten better. I no longer live the way I used to live, partying all the time and things like that. I'm now married, so now I really need a good career, So I was working in the restaurants. Pretty much that was my whole experience, customer service type thing. I was really good at solving problems with customers and letting them know that, hey, if you're asking for it, I could probably get it for you. Like that's how I was trained in all my jobs, was make them happy. So when I decided to start a lawn care business, that was my whole focus, and that still is. Like, it's customer service. Mm-hmm. Everybody can do what we do, but it's how do you treat the people? How do you talk to them? And can you fix their problems and all that? But anyway, I finally got married, and I thought, okay, I was happy in my career as a restaurant manager. Now that I'm married, I'm taking it really serious. So I finally do get that GM position that I've always wanted since I was 15. And then I finally reached the top, and then I realized this sucks. I just had great GMs and great district managers that would shield me from the horrors of the owners, of trying to come up with these unrealistic numbers, And so when I finally got to the top, I was so ambitious and all this. So they tell me to drop labor percentage, by 5 points. I'm going to do it. And everybody in the building would hate me, Mm-hmm. So, and the more they would hate me, the more money I would get. And I just hated it because I was working with people that didn't want to work with me, So anyway, and not only that, but the owners trying to give me these unrealistic numbers to hit. And I just realized I just couldn't do it. I just I made it to the top, and it didn't live up to the hype at all, So anyway, I talked to my wife one day, and I'm just breaking down on her, and I'm just I can't do this. I got to do something else. And she's okay.
We'll figure it out.
So a couple weeks later, I quit my job. Had nothing other than I was going to go back to school. I mean, I had no other experience in anything else, I did work in my lawn, okay? I had a little bit of experience lawn care and mowing lawns. It's kind of funny because I would actually love mowing the lawn. If it was time to go to a movie, if it was Friday night, 5 or 6 or 7, and my wife's like, yeah, why don't we go to a movie? Sounds great. She goes, okay, I'm gonna get ready. I just go outside and start mowing. I knew I had some time to get my lawn in shape before we went out. So anyway, and I always felt it was therapeutic.
Totally.
Mowing the lawn and pruning the flowers, raking the garden is just so therapeutic. If you really pay attention to what you're doing and you want it to look good, you have to, it becomes so therapeutic. When you're just focused on it. So I always thought that was great, but really what got me started in this was when I started going to school, I started working, I built these connections with all these restaurant managers and owners, and so I was able to work in the kitchen at, with flexible hours. And then I saw this guy working in the dish room. Anyway, I got to meet him, and I was just man, I'm just impressed by this guy. He comes to work, shirt tucked in, ready to do the dishes, you know what I mean? Just I was just so impressed. I got to know him, turned out to be this really cool guy, and I was just what's going on? Like, why are you doing the dishes, you know? He's like, well, you know, I was a foreman. I was a construction foreman for who knows how many years. I don't remember now. But I lost my job. It was during, like, the recession time, you know? And he lost his job, and so he's just trying to pick up again, and he needs to do the dishes to make up that extra money. And I just was so impressed by that, and I was like, you know, what would you do if you could start a business? And he said, you know, I always told myself if I got out of the construction business, I would do landscaping, which is kind of funny because it's kind of construction.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to build houses anymore. He'd rather do landscaping. And I was just like, wow, that's just so different, you know? I was hoping you were going to say, yeah, I'd start a handyman business and I could start making calls for you and answering the phone and all this. Anyway, we got to talking about it. I had some money saved up. What do you need? Is what I told him. What do you need? He's like, well, I need a trailer and, you know, mower and this and that. I'm like, you know, I think I could swing all that, you know? Why don't we do it? I'll make some door hangers, and then I'll pass them out, and we'll do it, you know? He's like, all right. So anyway, I get everything all set up. I'm starting to get excited because I have nothing to do. Like, I have nothing to do but focus on this new idea of starting a lawn care business. And anyway, I get everything all set up, you know, I try to get Green Thumbs, the name, and that's taken, okay? I was like, that is the most crushing thing when you want your name and you go and click submit, register your business name, and it's taken. That's gotta be up there, like one of the worst things. So anyway, so I was thinking, like, I need a name that I don't have much experience in this, so I know I'm gonna have to hire people who know more than me to, you know, so I need a name that they're not gonna say Freddie's Lawn Care. Like, where's Freddie?
Yeah.
Where's Freddie? You know what I mean? Because my friend, and I'll tell you why I won't mention his name anymore, but he was the one that was gonna go out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I needed a name that they wouldn't be calling me, even though I'd be the one talking to the customers. Anyway, so I came up with Lawn Thumbs because I thought Green Thumb is like known for gardens and stuff,
right,
but we're gonna be known for all of that stuff. We're gonna be known for everything. So I just came up with Lawn Thumbs, and then I felt so good about it. I submitted it, registered, boom, done deal. And then I tell it to my first customer. I was like so embarrassed. I was like, who do I make the check out to? And I was like, Lawn Thumbs? Lawn Thumbs? Yeah, Lawn Thumbs. Anyway, so I got past that. But anyway, so I signed all this stuff, you know, registered the business online, and he didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't want to put his name on nothing, you know? And anyway, so that's kind of how it got started. He helped me do one job. So first of all, I put all these flyers everywhere. Like, I hung all these flyers by myself. I mean, I printed some flyers and door hangers.
Right.
And I put them on every single door I could do. I mean, and I hate, like, doing that kind of thing. Like cold knocking, door knocking is like my worst fear ever. So I'd hear pots and pans, like, as I'm going from house to house, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So anyway, I put them all down. We started getting calls. It's like, it just all happened in one day. It's like, boom, the season started or something, you know? I started doing that in March. So it was right around the time the new season was gonna start. And the phone started ringing, and it started getting busy. So he had another job, like, he was trying to work. He did help me for that first week or so, but then he started like going, no, this isn't worth it. Like, so he started like, got a real job. And anyway, I started cleaning the gardens. So I started cleaning gardens. And anyway, it got to the point where I had like 4 jobs, you know, in a week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, I need you. Quit your job. I need you. And he's just like, I just got an offer in Colorado, and I'm going to be making double what I was before. So, sorry.
Peace
and I'm
out.
like, if you leave, never talk to me again. Because I was stressed.
Right.
Dude, I was so stressed. 4 jobs or 5, And at the time, I was just like, you're dead to me if you leave. I need you. Anyway, so he left, and it's kind of funny. I saw him like 2 years ago at a Lowe's, and he's just like, hey, man, I see your trucks everywhere. Like, you grew that business, didn't you? I just, yeah, I think so.
You're like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like, yeah.
Yeah, suck it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of how it started. And then, I started doing jobs, and mainly I was cleaning gardens, and this one of the first customers, like, I cleaned her garden. I did an estimate, it was just a nightmare. Like, if I were to see that job again, I'd probably say, we don't do that. We don't do that. Anyway, so I did it. It took me like 2 full days. I'm talking, I was there, it was dark when I got there, and it was like getting dark when I left, both days. So I went back the next morning, or the next day, to kind of just touch up everything and just make sure it was good before I asked her for the check. She came out, she started crying how happy she was. Like, she gave me a hug, and I never felt appreciated like that, ever, for work. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Right there, I knew that everything that I was good at, customer service, you can tie it all together with what I do now, with maintenance, because it's something that people really love, and it's their property, and I'm there to make it look as good as I can do, and not to mention just the appreciation that you get from it too. So like, when you look at what you did and you're just like so proud of it, like, what is that? Like, you're just, I don't know.
Gratification.
Gratification that
Yeah.
you get from your work. Totally. And anyway, I knew right there after I left there, I was like, that was what I was going to do forever. And the funny thing is, actually, if you look, I think I made $10, like, after you count all the costs and materials and everything that I spent. I probably walked away with $10-20 after it was all said and done, but I knew that I just had to get my numbers right.
Yeah.
And this is what I wanted to do.
Well, see, that's the great thing about how you got into it, is that you had all these skills on how to run a restaurant.
That's right.
And you're applying those to this, where most people who get involved, they like plants and they want to do this because that's what they learned, but they have no idea about the business side.
Yeah. So for a long time, I was like, I don't want to say, I was never like an office person, but I had a few managers that trained me, that were numbers people, and so they taught me how to do, to be a GM, you got to learn these things. You got to learn how to, like, look at your P&L sheet and submit the receipts and make sure they're all organized, so the person reading it, that who knows where and who that is, they can just flip through it and go, yeah, this is right. So I got good at all that kind of stuff. So I knew that, but going into a new service and not knowing what the vendors charge and where you can get it cheaper and what all these costs are, I definitely lost a lot of money at first.
So you learned the hard way, but now you're like, you got your system down and you're killing it.
Yeah, and I'm still learning. Like, for the longest time I didn't go to conferences. We had some professors or instructors that were like, just take the test and you're fine. But so for a long time, that's what I would do. I just study, take the test, pass, get my licenses. Yeah. But going to those conferences, you actually meet people. So that's something that I wasn't prepared for, and all the people that actually want to help. What's up, Fernando? There's one of my guys. What time is it? 6:40. He's getting done early. So, anyway.
So, like, what was your biggest lesson you learned out of it? Because you said you learned so many. What was the, I guess, let's go with the hardest. What was the most painful lesson that you learned?
That's a good one. I may have to circle around back to that.
Okay,
but,
no problem. What advice would you give someone starting out now?
Starting out, well, I would, okay, so one of the things, this will answer both those questions. When I started Lawn Thumbs, I didn't want to be like anybody else. So I had no idea what any lawn care business was doing. And I still stay away as much as I can from that. So I didn't watch any YouTube videos, you know. I didn't want to get any information from anybody because my whole thing, and still is, customer service. Like, that was what it was all about for me. So to answer your question, my biggest lesson, or my biggest hardest lesson learned is get some information from people, you know. I should have been watching YouTube videos, you know. I should have asked for help. I mean, and then finally when I decided, okay, there are some things I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to know until I learn them. So that's when I started looking into the USU landscape design program. Mm-hmm. Met some great people, you know. It's so nice to see people like from that program, like you, doing things like revolved around.
I know.
You know,
I kind of stepped away from it too, and I've kind of dabbled back in since I've started the podcast. Yeah. And it's like this whole community that I kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
Like all these people that I recognize from my classes and old professors.
And it's cool to see them doing things, you know?
Like, oh yeah, it's cool. Starting their own stuff.
Yeah.
Doing their own thing.
So for your listeners that don't know this, I was in your classes. Mm-hmm. We went to the program together. And it sucked to sit next to Blain. Because all the teachers would come by and be like, whoa, look at that design. You should consider the master's program. And I'm sitting here like, what about me? You know? So you do have a gift.
Yeah, it's I kind of put it on the back burner too, since it's been so long, but like I have plans on launching my own like landscape design business.
Nice.
But this is kind of what I never knew I would like this, like doing the podcast and stuff. And for me and Brad, it's so like, it's just our hobbies that he works in the, greenhouse, so it's not as much as him, but man, it's a great way for me to stay connected to that world.
Yeah.
And not very many people do it, especially in our area. So it's a way that I can reach out to the people I know and that I know are passionate about it, that are good at what they do, and can help others.
Yes.
So I just found a way to do it.
Yeah, it's excellent too. I love listening to it, and I don't know. Like, there are certain jobs where you can't, it's too noisy and things like that, but there are other jobs where it's just podcast day,
Yeah.
And it's just, like I said, it's therapeutic while listening to more information, and you're funny, so that's really cool.
I try not to be too uptight. Like, that's like a big
but
thing.
You're not uptight. Like, naturally you're not. You're an outgoing person.
With like some gardeners, like we're so like anal about species and how to do it and how not to do it.
I think I've noticed that too when like a gardener comes in through the door and we're interviewing or something, like they're so like when it's time to cut something, when is it time to, I know exactly when you prune and deadhead and then they start to loosen up when they get around me, like out there in the field, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's just time to do this. Or,
yeah,
we're gonna
I
make
think people
good.
take it way too seriously. It's just fun. So, where can people contact you?
Well, my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Lawn Thumbs. Lawn Thumbs, like LAWNTHUMBS. It gets confused with long thumbs a lot.
Okay.
Like long thumbs, like long, like no lawn. What's funny is like the bank started cashing my green thumb checks. Like people write green thumbs all the time and they just cash them now. They don't give me any problems with it.
I think it's a clever name because it makes you stand out.
Yeah, thanks.
It's good.
So just there, people comment, message me all the time on there, and I answer everybody back. I mean, there are times where somebody will just say like a funny comment or something, or just thank me, and I don't reply to that because I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So, but yeah, any questions, I always respond, and I always like trying to help out with links to where to buy things or find things or where to learn something from. So yeah.
Sweet. So it is Freddie Lawn Thumbs. So go find it, check it out, search it. If you're in Utah County, you can actually do people's lawns.
That's right. Well, not all Utah County, just Orem, Provo, and and then we go a little north. So we go to Linden, PG, Vineyard. So
and you can just search lawnthumbs.com.
Yeah, lawnthumbs.com. There's you can request an estimate right on that website, and then we try and get you a response right away. Most of the services we do, we measure them online and can give you a quote over the phone for mowing, fertilizing, weekly maintenance, weekly garden maintenance. But for garden like work, shrub pruning, things like that, we will have to go out and do an estimate. But for the most part, we can answer anything off the emails, and we check the emails periodically too. So, Sunday night somebody sends me an email, most likely I'm going to read it. So, yeah.
All right. Well, this is Blain at Hortoccult with Freddie from Lawn Thumbs, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks.
Well, there you go.
Oh man, how'd it go?
Good. So that was
What do you think?
25, 26 minutes.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.